drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello and welcome to Edupedia World.
Welcome to SAPUI5 training session. This is the part 2 of formatters. We have seen fragments and this is the part 2, the explanation of show dialog, how the dialog box is coming. We will be seeing the explanation in this. So there are 3 dialog boxes. One is normal select, another one is multi-select, and another one is dialog selected to remember. So when you select this and say OK, it will be remembered. So you have chosen this projector ID 4713, and when you go to multi-select, that will be already selected. So this you want to, in your application, you want to have this type of functionality where you select any dialog box and you want that to be selected whenever you open it. That time you have to do remember. So how the coding takes place is, we have to go to here, and in this we'll be searching for, let us start with index.html. Index.html, we have given overview, and this overview we have placed SAPUI.view and given ID, that is dfrag, and then we have given a view name, that is SAPUI5 tutorial 1, and dialog select example. So this means it will go and search the SAPUI5 tutorial, and inside this it will select dialog select example. So here we'll go and we'll see dialog select example. So once we see dialog select example, and it will go to view.xml. So in this we have declared all namespaces. XMLNS is a namespace, SAPUI core, XMLNS MVC, SAPUI.core.mvc, and SAPUI layout, and SAP.m. And controller name is SAPUI5 tutorial 1 dot dialog select example, and XMLNS colon HTML, that is HTTP colon / and we have given the organization. This is absolutely true. Why? Because whenever you want to use any HTML data inside this XML, so you can use directly HTML data. That means HTML tag you can use. So the purpose of this is we can use HTML inside this XML. And then what we are doing is we are taking a L. L is nothing but a layout, and layout colon vertical layout we are taking. So what we are trying to do, we'll go to the browser. So this is a vertical layout. We are placing 1, 2 and 3 buttons. So we'll go there and we'll be seeing it here. So here we'll give the class, and then here we give the width 100%, and then here we give the content, and inside this content we are placing 3 buttons. So one is button show select dialog, another one is button show select dialog multi, and another one is show select dialog remember. So there is a press event. So inside this press event we have placed a handle select dialog press. So when we have this text will be appearing in the UI. But when we press this button, that time this function is called. And similarly we have taken another button called text, that is show select dialog, but this is multi. This means selection mode is multi, and we have this press event dialog select dialog press. So this and this is one function only. So we don't need to have a separate, just we are using the same control but different selection mode. That is why we haven't taken anything. So we'll go to custom data. Inside this custom data, core custom data, and key we have given a multi. So this is how you write a custom data. So this is a very important thing also whenever you want to pass any information within the control, then you can use custom data. So how to retrieve this custom data, we'll be seeing in the controller. And then you will be writing a button, another button with a show select dialog, remember, and you're calling the same function, handle select dialog press, and then you are placing two keys. One key is multi and another one is value. So this is the beauty of custom data. Custom data is always a core object. So this core means SAPUI.core dot custom data we give. So this is custom data. Custom data act as a JSON. So what is JSON? It's a JavaScript object notation. So whenever we say JavaScript object notation, we have key and pair values. So when it comes to key, the name which indicates this is a key and the value we are holding is true. And whenever we talk about JavaScript object notation, that has to be in strings. That is the reason we are giving double quotes, key and value. Key and value. Here there will be no data types. You don't have to worry about data types here. You always have to follow string notation. Always. Key must be string and value also must be string. So later you can change it in the controller. You want to change, you can pass to int, whatever you want to change. That you can handle it in the controller. If you have the question like in future you might require that you want to check the data type. That time, okay, pass the value from here and then in the controller you can parse it accordingly. This is how we create custom data, and then we'll be going to button and we'll be closing the buttons and the content is closed and the vertical layout. This is how the buttons will be placed, the layout. So we have taken a vertical layout. So layout, the buttons will be like 1, 2 and 3 in a vertical order. Now we have done this, the UI, but we have to place a dialog box. How are we going to do it? We'll be seeing it in controller. So first the controller is called, it will go to onInit function. First it will go to onInit function. Once the function goes to onInit, you will be seeing a model here. That is nothing but a JSON model. That is sapui.model.json.json model, and inside this we have given a model name. So it will go to this model, web content, model. Inside this model we have products.json. So this file will be called and this will be set to the view. And once the view is set, what do we have to do? On exit, so when on exit, when this on exit will work? When the controller is destroyed, that time on exit works. So when you are destroying the controller, that time this on exit. So handle select data press. So what we are doing in on exit, we are destroying the dialog box if it is already there. So if this dot underscore, that's the reason we have taken this is a private variable that is global to this particular file. So this dot underscore o dialog and this dot o dialog dot destroy. We are destroying the dialog. And when we call handle select dialog press, then we are taking a function like this. If this dot O dialog is already there, then this function will not be called. This condition will not be successful. That is what it means. So when this success is not called, then this dot underscore O dialog equal to SAPUI.XML frag. So this means this is how you will call the fragments. When this dot O dialog is not existing, the first time it will be calling the fragment, SAPUI XML fragment. This is how you call XML fragments. Suppose if you want to call another HTML or anything, you can call through this SAPUI HTML.fragment. So this is to instantiate a fragment, and this is how the method is called. And inside this, we have to give first the name of the fragment. So our fragments exist in this web content. Inside this web content, we have a folder called fragments. Under this fragments, we have dialog.fragment.xml. So how do we call web content? That is com.tutorial. How we know it is com.tutorial? We have to go to index.html and check what we have given there. Here we have com.tutorial. So when it comes to controller, we will be using com.tutorial.fragments.dialog. And then next, this we always use this. So this means it will be copying these variables inside this fragment. And next, multi-select if required. So if it is multi, then use this dot multi. If not, single. By default it is single. And then if it is required, because in this OV event we are passing something, that data dot multi, because in the custom data we are sending it. So how do you check the custom data? This is how O event dot get source. This means it will get the source of that button. Inside that button, if we are passing any custom data, you can access through dot data of that key value. We are always having a key and pair values. We go to XML view and see. If it is multi, we are placing a data. This is custom data. So it is access to key. So we will be using multi. Then whenever we use data of multi, then it will return this value. So if it is not get source.multi, then this dot set multi is true. Multi is true. And then next, if it is, remember selection if required. So if the selection is there, then you'll be getting this type of data, and you will be assigning to be remember. And once you assign it to be remember, you can call this dot underscore O dialog dot set remember selections. So this is how you will be setting a remember selections. So just use one method called set remember selections, and your remember data, whatever you remember, that will be remembered. Then this will set the model. So see, why we are setting this model means usually you will not get the model inside this O dialog. You have to set explicitly like this. Set model, and inside this you have to do this dot get view dot get model. And then how do you open this dot underscore O dialog dot open. That opens up your dialog box. And inside the dialog box we have handle search and handle close. Okay, we don't know where is handle close and handle search, right? So first we have to go to this fragments. So whenever we say com.tutorial.fragments.dialog, it will go here. So it will go into this fragments, and inside this fragments it will search for dialog.fragments.xml. So once we go into this, it will be defining the fragment. This is how we define fragments. So core fragment definition, and we'll be giving a namespace xmlns and equal to sap.m, that is a default namespace. And once we have a default namespace, we'll be giving, so this is how, so core, SAP UI core, and we'll be using a select dialog inside this control. You can use whatever control you want. Once you click this, these fragments are normally used for dialog boxes. So whenever you use dialog box or any other like pop-up kind of controls, you will be using fragments, because you don't want to write this kind of code inside the view. That means in dialog select example.view.xml, inside this you don't want to use, because this dialog can be called anytime. Anytime that might be used, these dialog boxes can be any number of times. Suppose if you take in a application called Facebook, so whenever you are saving anything, it will appear like, are you sure you want to continue? That time we'll say continue. Okay, that is the one dialog box. And then another one is when you click on something, you'll be searching the list of friends. Then it is kind of another dialog. Suppose like that. In the pop-up you can give, so you want to send information, like if your application has such a kind of things, so that time you will be using such fragments. So it will save the code. You don't have to write 1,000 lines of code, because only this 4 lines of code, 1, 2, 3, 3 lines of code will be repeated number of times. So whenever you want to use a dialog box, then just call this fragment, as simple as it is. Okay, that's the reason you shouldn't give any IDs inside this. If not, it will throw an error, duplicate ID, because if you call the same dialog box again, the ID will be the same. So it will say it's already used and it is duplicate. And inside this, whenever the data is not available, then we'll pass this no products form. And then we'll be using the title called select product. So that will be the dialog box title. And then whenever we have search, so we can use search inside this. So whenever you type in the search bar, this function is called. And whenever you confirm anything, this handle close is called. And whenever you close also, we are closing it, because in confirmation we are not doing anything. Suppose if you want to forward the mail to certain people, then you have some operation. Once you select the email address, you want to send a mail. So when you send a mail, that time in the confirm you can use a different method name and you can write your logic over there. And as of now, we are just closing it. And once you click on confirm or close, we are just handling in handle close method. So items, these are the aggregations. So once you use items, it will be aggregated. If the model is already existing, then this is called an entity set product collection. Entity set. So standard list item will be giving you this name and product description. So I'm using a standard list item inside this dialog, so that I'm going to use a number of rows. And first list item, that is title, and title is name, and the description is a product ID. So the density is false, is always false, and icon inset is false. We are not doing any icon. And the type is active. When it is type is active, then it will be bold. The name will be bold. And the description appears in the bottom. You can see here. We select this. This is bold, and this is not bold. See, you can see the difference. This is bold, this is not. So you can search also. Once you search, it will be going to, this is not live search, You have to press enter, then only the monitor. You can cancel. You can see the list of products and you can cancel it. Whereas there is no confirm. There is no confirm. There is only cancel. And once you refresh and then open it, there is no confirm button because we are not giving any confirmation and we didn't place anything. So once the confirmation is button will be called when you click on that. When you click on, if you select anything, that is nothing but confirmation. So icon inside is false, the description and the title is displayed. Now we'll be seeing what is happening in handle search and handle close. Handle close. So handle close, these events will be in controller because whenever you call this dialog, so that time you can have in that controller this names. So one is handle search, another one is handle close. Once you confirm, yeah. So this is how it is. So once you search, these are S value. So in this S value, you will be getting the value of that search key, whatever you are searching. Inside that, you will be getting the value and you will be applying filter to it. This is simple, right? You have to apply filter and you have to bind the list items. So I'm getting to the name. Whenever you type, it will consider the name. And then you will be using this SAPUI.model.filter operation. Filter operator contains if this value, then bind it, then O binding is done. So when you say O binding, these items will be binded to this. And then after binding, we have to do a filter so that your data will be filtered again. So we have used a filter. We have declared the filter, but we have used the filter over here in the binding list. The binding list is nothing but your data items. To that items we have to apply filter. Inside this filter you will be having an object, that is filter object. Then you will be seeing handle close. So inside this handle close we are just getting the message toast, and this is how we are displaying a message which is that it is selecting. So O context will be checking whichever parameters you have chosen or selected. So if it is length is more than 0, then this will be displayed. So whatever the map, the O context dot map, that means the multiple, if it's multiple objects, then it will join like this kind of code. And O event dot get source dot get bindings, again we are applying filter that null. So we are removing the filter here, that we are setting up the filter to null. So we'll see the code. We have already seen the code. Now we'll see the UI. So in this UI we have O dialog plus. So inside this press, dialog box is popping. So we'll be going to press F12, and in this F12 we'll be going to sources C. So whenever we select, it will come here, and we know that it is opening the dialog box now here, and we'll see whenever it is existing, we'll be going to this, and then whenever you make search and handle close, what is happening we'll see. Okay, this is the dialog box appears, and I want to so once I click on this, it will go to close. Why it will go to close? Because I'm confirming. There is no confirm button. You can place explicitly the confirm button also. So once I click, it will come here, and next it will give you a AO context, whatever you have selected. So what you have selected now, which context you have selected, it will tell you. So there is only one context you have selected, that is open this second. So in the array 0, 1, 2. So then you have selected the third item. And then it will go to the next. It will show the message now. So this message will be shown now, SAPUI5 message with the context path. See the message issue. So similarly, when we do multi-select, so you'll be getting a context, two contexts. So one, whatever you selected, first one I selected, some random selected, and I selected 3. So I said OK. So OK means that is not confirm. Here OK means confirm. Then we'll go to the next. So what context you will be getting? I have selected 3. So you see 0, 1, 2. That means 3. I have selected first one and selected 7th one. I selected 11th item. So 10 means in an array, if it is 10, then it means you have selected the 11th item. So it will give you all context. So it will get the O context name and it will return this map function. This O context.map. What does it do is O context.map. So we'll go to sources. This controller, yeah. This, what does it do is in this map function, yeah. So you can check like this. The O context is not there. So just you can come. See, this is how it creates comma comma. Okay, so that is how it is done here. So we are not getting the context, but yeah, you can. You need to select. So I have selected one and I have selected one more and said OK. You go here, you come here, and this function 51 if you want to place, you can press C. This whatever does is a function. So you are doing a map. You are mapping every context, and with the what map you are doing, you are mapping up with a comma and you are separating it. So O context dot name, you get the first name. Okay, next it will get the second name because this map has 3 values like this. This is how we do. So second value. Then again 1, 2 because we have selected only 2. Right? Clear? This is how we do. And then we'll join with comma, separating, and we'll be filtering the items. And the next is the important one. Remember, when you say remember, say OK. That means you are asking to remember this 2, whatever I have selected, and you should say OK. And then you have chosen the text, then you will be using. So this is what it's already chosen. But where the choosing is done, this choosing is here. So when you click on this dialog box, it will check be multi-select is true or not. It should be true here. Multi-select is false because we have pressed select dialog box. Right. It's a single dialog box. Next. Remember. You have selected remember? No. You have selected the select dialog box. That's the reason it is false. Okay. This is how it is. So once you say remember, your multi-select will be true. Why? Because we are passing a data. So what does this do is, this is true. So once you add this 2, not, so that means whenever you see this, if it is, this value is not existing, then it will give you the false value. If it is existing, it will give you that value. That is what B multi-select and this 2 operator does. Similarly, you say remember, right? So once you say remember, the remember is already there. That's the reason it will give you a true value. And then it will select whatever you select, the values, it will be remembered. This is how it is done. So you said remember, so it will remember now. Yeah, it will remember. When you select this multi dialog box, we have to get this source first and see whether whatever values you have selected, it's already there or not. So once you, how to check it? Get source dot get. So you take it in a variable, so that D I'm taking in a variable. So D dot get selected. Get remember. You can search for this functions. So this is a button. Sorry, this is a button. So what you have to do is, the sources, you have to select this dot dialog box. So we are searching for a wrong one. Dialog box D equal to this dialog box. Okay, this is a dialog box. This is a button. Okay, D dot get remember selections. So once you say get remember selections, whatever selected will be remembered. That is true. So what items have been remembered? Get items selected. Get items selected. How do you get the selected item? Yeah, this is underscore selected items. So when you do this, you'll get the selected items, whatever the items are selected. So this you have selected. You can go to properties. You have selected this item, and then the next item, what you have done is you have to go up and see the second one. So first one and then second one I'm doing. One is power, another one is you can go to M properties and you can check that. And monitor logging. This is how you will be getting the selected underscore selected items. This is how you check. You say cancel. And once you refresh, just come. Okay. This is all about dialog select. So in the next session, we'll be seeing the other concepts. And when it comes to this dialog fragment, this is how the fragments are called. The fragments are always in a separate folder, and we can have that separate folder, and you can call it from the index.html, and in the controller you'll be handling it. This is important. You have to already should have a condition. So if condition is not there, every time your fragment will be opening, and it will say duplicate ID or it's already existing. It will not open actually. Okay, it will again instantiate. You can't have the proper behavior. So this code will be saved, and you can make use of this code. Thank you.